one. For me, in my little time that I've gotten to know him a little bit, he's a cool horse because he's big, but he's super sensitive in a positive way. And so if we get that working for us, I think it can be really quite good. I've worked quite a bit on teaching him to understand the Piaffe better, and that's come a long ways. It still needs to get easier to ride, but it's getting there. There's some really, really good moments. And then that passage, the passage I think is a little bit harder for him. There's a lot of body here to push off the ground. But if we shift the balance just right, then he can learn how to push himself off the ground. And that's also starting to come. I'm using a little bit like swishing the whip instead of tapping with it to get a little infusion of energy, and then trying to balance that frame so that I get him just right in the balance where he thinks to push off the ground a little more. But today I'll show some of that Piaffe passage stuff, and then in the canter I've done some half-fast work and working on getting the changes going better. But we'll start here. So in the Piaffe, it's really, for me, a lot of it is energy management and teaching the balance. So can we teach him to balance here, and then can we teach him when we want to activate him that he's responsive to activating. So I'll use my cluck. Good boy. And what I'm looking for is little moments where he gets really receptive to activating. And then if I can have a few good steps, then let him out. At this stage, I'm not worried about holding it as much as I am getting a few steps and then letting the energy come out. So like really working on the responses to the aids, finding the balance here from this kind of slow walk, schooling walk. And he needs to be kind of electric there. So I'm quick to abandon the Piaffe. I'm not just gonna make it happen. If I feel like there's not enough response, I'll maybe pull my legs away from him, get him in front, really in front of me, so I have an electric feeling, and then I can Piaffe. Good. That's it. Then I can go rising trot just in the balance. And then I'll show you a little bit when I'm trying to work toward that passage. If I can balance him here, go sitting, and then add a little bit of energy. Come, come. Oh, good. And for me, like, I'm just gonna figure out, try to find the balance, reward a few of those steps where he comes big with the cadence, and then take the energy out. Again, it's finding that smallest change and slightest try where we really can build on it, you know? And that's really tricky in horsemanship. It's tricky to use your feel to figure out what's enough, what's correct enough that we can build on, and what's just compromising, you know? Okay, go back to this passage rhythm. Come. Pull the highest point. Come. See if I can get a little swish from the whip. Come. And that starts really small and subtle. You'll get just a few steps of suspension. But over time, if we can develop the strength, then we can start carrying that and building that. And we teach him to passage, and then that totally changes our trot mechanics. So if we can start developing the suspension there and the comprehension of it, the understanding of it, then we can carry it into the the trot and change the trot rhythm. Then I'll go back to my half steps here from a small aid. So balancing and activating. Come. Trying to use the whip up on top of the croup so I can activate both hind legs instead of just the right one. So whip up on top of the croup. And back to halt. Not afraid to deactivate. Let me square him up there. Good. Good boy. Good boy, Jett. So yeah, so that's really some of the Piaffe massage work that I've been doing. And then really in the canter, I've been working on the basic throughness and the basic straightness. So organizing the body, getting him responding to the small aids together here, and cantering. And really trying to ride from the seat as much as I can, developing that jump, finding the straightness. Good. But the Piaffe massage work is going to help develop that throughness in the body. Good boy. Again, go back to my passage feeling here. Come, come, come. That's it. Find this delicate balance without pushing him out of balance. I want him to come. Need to push him a little bit. Come. Needs to activate. Good there. Good boy, Jett. And don't just run him forward here. He needs the opportunity to really find the cadence. Come. Good. And cantering. Good. It's really important there, like if I'm too concerned about how it looks, I'll run him forward. But for me, I'm not so much worried about what that trot looks like yet, because I know what the future can be, you know? So I'm really just trying to find the balance and give him the opportunity to find a cadence that's really balanced with me. Good boy. Balanced in self-carriage. Little half halt, add. Come. Little half halt, come. Look for those moments. There's the brace. Come. Little burst of energy, because he still has to be in front of me. I'm saying, find the cadence here, but balance. Come. Half halt. Good. Good. And walk. Good. Even if it's just a few steps like that. Start small. It's even better than it was a week ago, where I start having those feeling that I can push this energy off the ground like a basketball, you know, get that cadence going, get him coming off the ground. But anyway, what a super horse. Thanks for sending him to me. I'm excited to have him and get to know him for a little bit, and I'll take good care of him. I think that's good.